You're not prepared for this one, people. A shocking video has surfaced, and guess what? These two reality TV stars weren't just having a small argument. Nope, they got arrested after a vicious fight that left everyone questioning everything we know about reality TV. Did Kirk Frost and young Jock just get caught in the most shocking scandal of the year? But wait, there's more. You believe that this fight was genuine, but once more, it was part of a sick and twisted scheme to increase the show's ratings. Yes, the producers and networks orchestrated the entire situation, but the best part is that former cast member Benzano is threatening to add gasoline to this flaming dumpster of drama. The question now is whether Kirk Frost and young Jock will ever move past this PR catastrophe or if their reputation has been permanently destroyed. You won't believe the dark, dirty details we're about to reveal. The leak of old footage could ruin the entire show's reputation. It shows how far the producers are willing to go to create chaos for a paycheck. Prepare yourself because this will be crazy. Let's set the scene. Kirk Frost and young Jock, two of the most well-known figures on reality TV, are going to have their lives completely turned upside down in a way that no one could have predicted. You may recognize them from the notorious world of hip-hop and love, where the drama never ends and neither does the manipulation these men have been engaging in. Drama about a love triangle or baby mama? Oh no, this time it's much darker, and the plot is thickening more quickly than you can say it's boosting ratings. So here's the deal. Two well-known reality TV stars, Kirk Frost and young Jock, have reportedly been arrested following a violent altercation that was leaked on social media. What's the real story here, however? This is where the story gets juicy. If you know anything about Kirk and Jock, you know that their past isn't exactly spotless. Kirk Frost, oh boy, don't even get me started on his name, is a real confrontation between two former friends who simply couldn't handle it any longer. Or was there something much more sinister at play? Doesn't instantly conjure up images of drama and mayhem, but I'm not sure what will. From cheating scandals to DNA testing to his complicated relationship with Rashida, the man has experienced it all. Young Jock, on the other hand, isn't far behind, renowned for his flamboyant demeanor and smooth-talking ways. He's been involved in a lot of controversy himself. Remember that whole hair situation? Let's just say these two know how to keep the tabloids afloat, but what transpired here was not your average reality TV meltdown, drunken tirade, or small-minded argument that could be resolved with a heart-to-heart. No, this was something significant, and it wasn't merely a coincidence that it occurred at the ideal moment for the show's ratings. Now, if you're thinking, there's no way this fight was real, you're not alone, because here's the thing. This wasn't some crazed outburst that took everyone by surprise. Rather, it was all a staged act orchestrated by the show's producers. That's right, people, what we're dealing with here is a complete fabrication, and the producers behind the scenes are the true masterminds of this entire mess. When your show starts to wane, you resort to the most dramatic and shocking thing you can think of. You get your stars to fight, you get them to blow up on camera. You make a mess so big that the entire world can't look away, and boom. This is something that most reality shows either don't want to acknowledge or just act doesn't exist. This isn't your average stage fight where two actors pretend to throw punches for the cameras. Rather, it was real and dangerous, according to anonymous sources, because let's face it, in this business, everyone is a source the producers put in place. You've got some primetime drama that will keep the audience riveted to their screens. The cameras were rolling, the tension was high, and the fight was wild. But the truth is that it wasn't a real fight. These guys were just acting for the show. The issue is that once that video went viral on social media, things got out of control. Kirk Frost and young Jock told them to act like things were out of control and then pushed them over the edge, and guess what? Went viral almost immediately. People were shocked, horrified, and convinced that these two men were actually going to be imprisoned for what they had just done. The fight created such a huge buzz that everyone was wondering what the hell had happened. But behind the chaos, the producers were laughing uncontrollably. The network was celebrating When the video leaked, There were rumors that Kirk Frost and young Jock had been arrested, that their careers might be destroyed, and that the Love and Hip Hop franchise was going to face one of its biggest blows. Was a carefully planned controversy, but the public didn't realize it was a hoax, and that's when things started to go out of control. Scandals ever, but as is always the case with reality TV, things are never as straightforward as they appear. Was no typical altercation. Rather, it was a well-planned move to keep the drama going. This is where the real trouble starts. As the producers were congratulating one another for making this mess, they overlooked one important detail: Benzano. You remember Benzano? He was a former cast member who has appeared on the show. Chaotic history. But Benzano wasn't just watching helplessly as all of this happened. Oh no, he had a plan of his own that would make this staged altercation into an even greater PR catastrophe. In fact, Benzano was reportedly prepared to release old footage that would reveal all of the show's manipulative techniques, including footage that some claim demonstrated the producers' exact motivations. Knowing exactly what would happen once the cameras began to roll, they pushed Kirk Frost and young Jock to the brink of their fight. The footage would ruin not only Kirk and Jock's reputations, but the entire Love and Hip Hop empire. Suddenly, the drama was not limited to the TV screen. It was about to spill into the real world, with Benzano threatening to drop. The stage was set for an epic scandal with these bombshells and the internet already raging with rumors and speculation. But wait, we're not done yet, because what comes next might be even more explosive than you can imagine. All right, let's examine the fallout from the whole Kirk Frost and young Jock scandal in detail. The internet is already losing it. We already know that the fictitious altercation between these two ex-friends, which was intended to boost ratings, has completely backfired. But what the producers didn't expect was Benzano playing his own hand in this whole circus. Let's face it, when it comes to reality TV scandals, this is just the tip of the iceberg. As we have discussed, Benzano, the former reality TV troublemaker, had enough of being marginalized and wasn't going to sit back and watch the producers make fun of the entire show based on dubious anonymous sources. After all, in the world of fake news, everyone has a source, and Benzano knew exactly what was taking place behind the scenes. And he knew how the producers had coerced Kirk Frost and young Jock into this altercation to boost ratings. He wasn't having it though, because he allegedly had footage so scandalous that it would rock the show's foundation and reveal the producers as puppeteers. They were actually old footage of fabricated situations, confrontations, and, more crucially, the reality of how the producers had planned the entire situation was not merely a little on-the-fly drama for the cameras. Rather, it was calculated manipulation meant to give the impression that these alleged beefs were real. Can you imagine the chaos this caused when the rumors began to circulate? The public had already been consuming this information. The producers were sweating at this point because the pressure was unbelievably high, but the worst part is that if these tapes were leaked, they would not only demonstrate how the producers manipulated the situation, they would also show the world that the fictitious altercation between Kirk Frost and young Jock was real. When news broke about Benzo's purported tapes, the internet went into overdrive, and viewers and fans who had been glued to their screens for years felt deceived. The entire genre of reality TV shows is built on manufactured chaos. These shows aren't real. They are scripted, staged, and manipulated to the maximum extent possible. The public's reaction was intense, especially when the leaked footage began to surface. These viewers were devoted fans who had no stake in the outcome and believed in the drama they were watching. They were unaware that everything, from the minor arguments to the explosive confrontations, was planned to keep them coming back for more. Thought the altercation between Kirk Frost and young Jock was shocking, but wait until you see what the producers were concealing. The leaked footage revealed not only the backstage manipulation, but also the extravagant spending, corruption, and abuse of power that the producers had over their stars. Was a business show, not just a show about betrayal and love drama. Business that prospered by taking advantage of its talent, controlling its audience, and doing whatever it took to make money. Naturally, the producers weren't going to stand by and let Benzano have the final say. They frantically denied the incident and did everything they could to hide it. But their efforts were futile because once Benzo's tapes were public, there was no going back. Let's take a moment to talk about the real stars of the scandal, Kirk Frost and Young Jock. These two men, who were once adored by their fans for their chaotic lives and love triangles, suddenly found themselves at the center of a scandal from which they were unable to escape when the fight first aired. The public backlash was swift, brutal, and merciless. They were stunned and glued to their screens as they watched these two men rip into one another. The fight's video went viral in a matter of hours, and people began drawing their own conclusions about what transpired. Was it a planned catastrophe meant to entice viewers for the upcoming season of Love and Sports, or was it a heated altercation between two men who had reached their breaking point? Hip-hop left the audience unsure of what to believe, which is obviously exactly what the producers intended. The appeal of reality TV is its ambiguity, which keeps viewers intrigued, keeps them interested in the drama, and gives them the impression that they are watching something uncut and unfiltered. However, when the truth began to surface, the audience was divided and wondered if they could ever trust reality TV again. The public's response to this scandal was not limited to fans. The entire industry felt the heat. Networks, sponsors, and even other reality stars began to doubt the legitimacy of these shows, wondering how much of what they were watching was real and, more importantly, how much of what they were supporting was merely manipulation for ratings. As the controversy surrounding Kirk Frost and Young Jock continues to develop, it's becoming more and more obvious that their careers and reputations may never recover. However, what will happen to them? And what about everyone else involved in the scandal? Social media users were nothing short of explosive, calling out the producers, demanding answers, and even boycotting the. Let's first examine the legal ramifications of this web of manipulation, betrayal, and exploitation. Although Kirk Frost and Young Jock may have believed they were merely cooperating with the ratings-boosting scheme, the fallout is much more serious than they had anticipated. Benzo's leaked footage has revealed a web of corruption and manipulation that goes back to. The public outcry was about more than just Kirk Frost and Young Jock anymore. It was about the people behind the scenes, and when the world gets a peek behind the curtain of reality TV, things can go south very quickly. That's why the producers, who planned this whole staged conflict, are now under investigation. Benzo won't let go either. He knows the power he has now, and with those tapes in his hands, he has leverage and isn't afraid to use it. Kirk Frost and Young Jock might not be willing to do this, but he is, and you can bet that the legal teams are already lining up, ready to throw the book at everyone involved. The only ones going through a crisis are the producers, who could end up in hot water for more than just controlling their cast. They could be subject to civil lawsuits, financial penalties, and even criminal charges of conspiracy to defraud the public and fraudulent misrepresentation. And you can bet that's on the cards. We can already picture the lawyers doing everything in their power to try to prevent this catastrophe. But let's face it, Kirk Frost and Young Jock will probably wind up with a damaged reputation that cannot be repaired by PR. They may attempt to save their careers by making statements or apologizing, but the public won't forget easily, and there will undoubtedly be repercussions. It's not just about the actors anymore. It's about the entire system that permits these types of poisonous manipulation schemes to occur. The producers may have believed they could avoid the backlash, but the network and the producers are now directly linked to the controversy, and there is no way they can avoid it. Probes, investigations, and restructuring are all scheduled. Could get away with staging a fight to boost ratings, but now they're responsible for everything. Think about it. The network executives who approved this entire operation are under tremendous pressure, and if any of them become involved, it could result in significant changes, resignations, possibly fired producers, corporate restructuring, and let's not forget the show itself. The reality TV industry is already struggling with a severe crisis of credibility, and shows like this rely on the appearance of authenticity. If viewers begin to doubt the veracity of what they're watching, we may witness the demise of a whole genre. What will happen to the network? Will they use this scandal as a chance to purge? But it's not just the show that's feeling the heat. Sponsors and advertisers are already rushing to get their money's worth when reality TV shows are embroiled in controversy. Major brands that had partnered with the show are now reconsidering their relationships because nobody wants to be linked to a scandal of this kind. Let's take a moment to focus on the stars. Kirk Frost and young Jock have spent years establishing their careers, but their involvement in this fictitious fight could be their downfall. Will they ever be able to regain the public's attention? Sponsors may withdraw their funding, and advertisers may start looking elsewhere. After this, perhaps, but it will be a long road. Rehabilitation will take more than a few interviews or an apology. They must show sincere regret, accept responsibility, and somehow win back the public's trust. This is easier said than done, as the public's opinion of these two men has already changed. They were once viewed as beloved and despised reality TV mainstays. However, they are now viewed as puppets who were used by producers for entertainment purposes. While the fans may eventually forgive them, the media won't let them off that easy. Kirk Frost and young Jock will have to deal with the fact that they are now being exposed as pawns in a game they believed they could control, and let's not even talk about the fans. If we are being honest, reality TV fans are cruel and have short memories, but they won't forget what happens to the fan base when the curtain is pulled back and the magic trick is revealed. People who believed they were watching real drama are now questioning everything. Were those tears real? Were those fights real? Were the relationships ever real? Disclose that they might completely abandon their relationship, but perhaps they will return for more. After all, we live in a time when scandalous entertainment is king, and some people enjoy a good old scandal. Kirk Frost and young Jock might end up in the same cycle they were in before they were continuously thrust back into the spotlight for everyone to see. The wrong reasons. The more important question is whether Kirk and Jock will recover and rebuild, or if the scandal will permanently damage them. Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. This fiasco will have a lasting impact on all parties involved, leaving us to wonder what will happen when the world realizes how phony the drama is. Will the audience pay attention? You, the viewer, may have an opinion on this. Are you prepared to watch these two rebuild their lives and careers, or are you going to move on to the next scandal? Kirk Frost, young Jock, and the entire reality TV empire may be in your hands. Stay tuned because we'll keep bringing you all the juicy details. Details aside, I have a few important questions for you before we wrap up. Do you think these men can ever turn their lives around? Or is this scandal the end for them? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe for more insider information on the world of fake reality TV drama. And there you have it, people, the incredible story of Kirk Frost and young Jock, who thought. The story is not yet finished, so we'd like to know what you think. Do you think Kirk Frost and young Jock can ever move past this huge scandal? Or is this the last straw for their reality TV careers? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments section below. They could stage a fight for ratings only to get entangled in a web of lies and repercussions. We're just getting started, so make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and join the family. We have more exclusive content, insider scoops, and the biggest entertainment stories that you won't find anywhere else. The conversation has just begun, so don't leave just yet. If you thought this story was crazy, wait until you see what we've got next. Otherwise, be sure to tune in, hit the like button, and prepare for the next shocking revelation. We'll see you in the next video where we go into more detail on the You don't understand the world of false reality TV drama. Want to miss it? Click the subscribe button now. Let's keep this roller coaster going, though. I'll see you shortly.